Star Wars 7. According to anything official, it's supposed to open in the US tomorrow, but I have tickets for tonight, and not a midnight premiere either. I've been avoiding spoilers just as much as I possibly can, having only seen the first teaser trailer. I wish I hadn't seen that, and will probably be dropping off of social media after I post this video until I've seen the movie. I have a few hypotheses about what will happen, like which characters aren't going to survive to the end, but I only have 35-year-old off-screen information on which to base those hypotheses, nothing conclusive. I've been looking forward to this for a while, as have most people, but my fandom of Star Wars goes back a long time ago. Yes, in a galaxy far, far away. I recently just had my 40th birthday. 2 days ago, in fact, which means I was just about a year and a half old when A New Hope came out back in 1977. My entire childhood was full not merely of Star Wars, but of every Star Wars wannabe that came out in its wake. Battle Beyond the Stars, Space Raiders, Star Chaser: The Legend of Orin, The Last Starfighter, Ice Pirates, Battlestar Galactica, and, of course, Spaceballs. Hell, I probably just skipped a few that I should be remembering. I've got Star Wars toys and Star Wars clothing still to this day. A Star Wars backpack. Hell, I've even got the Rebel Alliance insignia tattooed on my left arm. To say that I kind of imprinted on the series would maybe be a bit of an understatement. You grow up with the world steeped in a series of movies or TV shows when you're a kid, it's gonna affect you. I shudder to think what the kids raised on Breaking Bad are gonna be like. When I heard this movie was going to be directed by J.J. Abrams, I couldn't have thought of anyone better. After watching the rebooted Star Trek movie, my first thought was, that was fun, but it felt more like Star Wars than Star Trek. Now, I used to be one of those folks who thought you have to pick Star Wars or Star Trek, that you had to only like one or the other. I've since grown out of that. But there is, for me, one reason Star Wars will always be superior to Trek. Single-seat, high-speed attack fighters. If Trek had those, it might actually give Star Wars a run for its money. My favorite Star Wars character is Wedge Antilles, by far. He goes from being Red 2 in the Battle of Yavin against the first Death Star to being the leader of Rogue Squadron by the Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi. There's just something about space dogfighting that I really enjoy, which is probably part of why I love so many of the movies I listed earlier, since that's an aspect featured rather prominently in most of them. I don't care that it's not realistic. It's fun, and that's what entertainment is supposed to be. Oh, and to those of you who keep saying that Star Wars is fantasy and not sci-fi, stop that. Look up the subgenre of sci-fi called space opera, and you'll see that Star Wars is, indeed, science fiction. Genre names are not meant to be taken literally, otherwise all fiction would be fantasy, since someone fantasized about it enough to write it. And sci-fi can be more fi than sci without turning into fantasy. Seriously, knock that off. But the main reason why I was kind of disappointed in the prequels was the absence of the rebellion. The Skywalker family spat is fun, but the original trilogy balanced it out with the fight for freedom against the evil empire with all of the resulting space battles, and that was the part of Star Wars I really loved. Forget Jar Jar or whatever. The fact that the prequels focused more on the Jedi and didn't touch upon the rebellion at all made me unhappy. So I'm really hoping this new movie has a lot of kick-ass space battles in it somewhere. But I wouldn't know, since I've been avoiding spoilers like the plague. A meme was going around Facebook, people promising not to discuss the movie until about a month had gone by. Oh, I intend to post a few silly non-spoiler spoilers, like saying that Greedo was Han Solo's sister, or that Rosebud was a spaceship, but nothing real. 'Cause I'd rather not be hunted down and killed any more than I want to have to do the hunting. In any case, if you dig Star Wars like a backhoe, the way I do, you're probably looking forward to this about the same amount. Here's hoping, right? Until next time, fellow space travelers, may the Force be with you. Vote me down, and I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.